Coach, 2-0 defeat. Your assessment of the game, please.
Yeah, it's a hard one to take. It's a hard one to take, all because we create mistakes that lead to the first goal, and it's not a situation that the opposition have to work for. We just have to become more resolute. And I think if we bypass the first critical moment, then we can lead on to the second half, or rather into the next 30 minutes, so that we can actually find ourselves in the game. Because on the balance of the game, after they scored that goal, they basically set deeper. Especially, I mean, they went into a low block, not so much of a mid block. Yeah, then we were impatient, man. We just played balls that unnecessary into the last line, while we needed possibly just to drag them out. Yeah, but I think it's desperation that goes into the players' minds that they need to get a goal fast. I think on the balance of play, they had maybe some good transitions, but other than that, they just set. And then there was one transition moment we were trying to progress the ball, and then we got caught as well. The assistant ref calls it a penalty, and I still have to see that one. I don't think that player got touched. I'm sure in football you're allowed to stay close to the attacker. It's not a crime to be close to the attacker. Now it's a situation of, do you push him? Do you pull him, push him down? Do you push him off the ball? I mean, that could be an offense, but I didn't say anything. But we have to really look at that situation. So it's 2-0 down. We have to change the setup tactically in the second half so that we can actually be in it. We tried that with different personnel, and I thought the first 15 we played more into the areas that we wanted to play in. But it's unfortunate because when the first 15 goes and you haven't made a keeper make a save, then you know what, you have to try some other way. So it's to try play more into the final third, create situations where is it a cross, is it a dribble to attract the last line. Those situations is what we are looking for, because the game asks for that. I mean, they're sitting deep again. Good centre backs. I would say we didn't drag the centre backs enough out of the central areas, so we don't create a separation enough. We don't create a confusion enough so that they are at 6s and 7s. But yeah, for us, of course, another home game that we lose, but we have to pick ourselves up. I think it's a long time until the end of the season. So I just feel a bit bad for my players who just keep creating the same mistakes, and especially the young ones, because in some moments some transitions are from them making tactical errors as well. But yeah, we pick them up. I think we have to hold our head up high into the next one. They're coming thick and fast. Another title contender that we're facing on Tuesday, but we'll be ready.
Coach, let's look at the game plan coming into the game, how you wanted to play, because especially that first half, it looked like they set back, like you said, but you didn't seem to have a plan on how to maybe draw them out or to penetrate or to get behind, the first line of pressure, and you kept throwing those balls high, and Lingwati and the young man, they were having a party because everything that came up, they just heading it out and winning every ball that came through.
Yeah. You see, the difficult thing in coaching is the tactical training that we do in anticipation, because we watched the opposition when they played in Tutuza. So we know their strengths, and even previous seasons, this is one of their strengths, aerial ability that they have, especially with Lingwati, the leadership as well. So we train these things, but players, when they get desperate in some moments, I also think the pitch condition, it rained, it was slippery. At times we're sleeping, we're not having that extra pass, that extra touch to attract the next line. So they become desperate, and then they go to a default state of just going long, and then we also don't win the second ball at times, which gives us then the issue into the transition phase. So yeah, we tried even in 30 minutes gone. I tried to give a message to try at least change structure slightly so that we can actually create some good rotations. We can keep the ball in the midfield third, or especially into those half spaces, you know. But I think, you know what, you train these things, so the application level that sometimes our players find themselves, they panic a lot. And as I said, it's game 6. I don't think we need to panic. We just need to play the way that we've planned. We need to believe in what we are trying to do. And at times, I think the technical errors of body orientation, you know. Sometimes the ball comes, it's an overload, but because the player who receives it is in the wrong body orientation, it doesn't allow us to enter the next line or allow us to worry their spaces between the lines. So it's all about, I think, the application. The players, we try to show them on the video sessions, and we have to keep going and keep showing them, because I must put a reminder that this is a new team. If you look at the current players that we have, some of them haven't played ABC football. So when you look at how they're integrated, I think it's easier when we win the first games, but it's about the process. How do we win those first games? We've got points on the board, but can we be resolute in defense? Even those areas of defending, where we have to be in the right areas, be more compact. But yeah, I think it's application level, and we're getting there. It's unfortunate that sometimes, you know, the fixture, we play contenders, so the application level looks like it's not getting to the right stage, because you are playing a tougher opponent, another tougher one. But yeah, this is our players have to learn the hard way. This is the game of football. This is sport. You can't control the fixture. You have to make sure that whatever is in front of you, you play. And we just need our heads going slightly higher up now. As I said, it's not the end of the season. It's not a critical phase of we just have to make sure that the next one is much better than this one. Because again, you know, entries into the box, entries into the final third, if you don't have higher numbers in those stats, then it makes it difficult to basically then create a chance. So we'll be working on that, but obviously even working on the morale of the team. Yeah.
Coach, you made the changes at halftime, and the team looked totally different.
Yeah.
Somehow you were able to get in the spaces between their first line of pressure and the defense. Yeah. You started to create something, even though you didn't score, yeah. Especially with Kaiser and Jeko. Yeah. You put your foot more on the ball. They started to come out, and then you exploited those spaces. What would you say is the difference between the first half and the second half? Besides the fact that, you know, Kaiser and Jeko are more experienced, would you say it's entirely to that the young boys? Mpagi is a very, very young boy. Yes. First time playing ABC. Yes, exactly. It's going to be very difficult for him. Yes. Yeah. So would you put it to that, especially the differences between the performances in the first half and the second half?
As I said, first time for some of our young ones playing ABC football, and also at times the stats that they bring into the team of which level did they play in for us to basically. But yeah, I believe in these young ones. I wouldn't put a player in the starting lineup if I didn't believe that they can actually perform. So it's about exactly what I spoke about, the application level, and in certain moments you create a mistake, and now you're afraid to have the courage to basically keep doing what is part of the plan that we have. And even in some moments we see some glimpses of our players doing well in some moments when they do have space. So it's just the belief. I think it's the belief. It's that posture, that arrogance that says, I created a mistake, let me go again. Because we always tell them, in that moment you create a mistake, we still have other minutes that are coming for the next action, and the next action, and the next action. So, as I said, the difficult part is maybe with a mid-table team, a lower ranked team, and no disrespect to any team, but they create a mistake, but possibly they have time to recover. because the actions, the football actions of some title contenders are relentless. So, as I said, I think they will learn, the young players will learn, I believe in them. They are showing remarkable improvement in training. It's just them applying themselves. And with the changes, it's the players that obviously have been in ABC. They know the mentality that's needed, and they're not bullied too easy. And I think a colleague of mine next door, Coach Karabo Mukodi, also spoke about, some limitations when it comes to university teams as well.
Yeah.
And I think we share that as well. But I knew when I was coming here what I'm going to face. So it's all part of the process. We're going to help the young ones, but also even the older ones, the non-students, to make sure that they keep on performing at that level. Because also they can also drop their shoulders, to say, yeah, man, the young ones are letting us down, but it's not that. We're a team, we win as a team, we lose as a team. At some points, I think the season will turn around for us. We just need to keep believing. And if we don't concede easy goals and try keep the score at 0-0 at halftime, I think we have ample opportunities. Because in our last games, the last 3 games, now the third one, we are, conceding goals. And those goals could be seen as soft. But hey, at the end of the day, it's the results. We have to face it. And we'll pick ourselves up from here.
Last one, Coach. In the ABC Motsepe League, it's often said that one of the difficult things that coaches have to find balance on is, meeting the regulations, starting with those under 23s, but balancing out with experience so that they are not exposed by the physical demands and the tactical demands of this league. How difficult is to find that balance? Because one will look at this game and think, if there were no regulations and you started with a team that started the second half, the game is totally different.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I think obviously the challenge coming into the season for me, when I arrived, the team was already 8 weeks into the start of the preseason. So one still had to try figure out in terms of who's coming back. Some injuries that did happen from last season. Some players were released. So in that time when I'm trying to compose the team, obviously some players that I would have liked are going to other teams, And in that moment, you have to try build in terms of what you currently have. I have to assess the students, see their level, and again, some of them not given much time because, we're about to start the season. I think the first date that we got said that we are going to start the season, it was possibly 4 weeks. And then we have to prioritize what is important. We have to possibly recall some players that we felt, maybe can help us. We had a couple of challenges with some players that we had them, we had them here, and then all of a sudden they went AWOL. But of course, players go AWOL for different reasons. And then when you bring certain youngsters, some are currently injured actually. Some under 23s are currently injured. So I think the balance of your team, whether you have a young goalkeeper, overage goalkeeper, centre backs, the composition of your team needs to be in such a way that you are balanced. You are balanced. You've got good qualities that can compete on the physical level. Because again, as I said, the fixture right now is a fixture that says we are facing title contenders, which on a physical level we need more repeated actions. And some of our players, as I said, with looking at their profile, they don't come from playing games of high consequence. They don't come from possibly a league that has high football actions. You need to press. After you press, you need to recover. After you recover, or receiving the ball, receiving with pressure. What does it look like to receive with pressure? Where do you go? How do you shake off the pressure? How do you make sure that if you are shaking off the pressure to play maybe a vertical pass, how do you support the ball if you're a midfielder? Making double leg. There's so much that one has to take into consideration. But however, behind the scenes, we are improving the squad from every level, as I said, with constant analysis, improving players individually. Because at some point, I believe it will come right with what we are doing. I really believe in what we are doing. I believe in the players that we have. Once we have a cleaner bill of health, as well with some personalities, because some players, they might be young, but the capacity and quality that they are playing at can give you a good 45, you know, and then you can make your changes that you need to. So, but I think once our players pick themselves up, once we get a few positive actions, then it will change. Because, as I said, we are conceding goals far too easy. If we remain 0-0, then maybe our eye is removed from can they do proper actions. You know, it's 0-0, so you are actually happy as a coach. So it's always difficult to go a goal down and then 2, and then you have to now craft to make sure that you now at least go fight in the second half. So at times it looks like we are making subs because it's the unders. No, it's not about that. It's about qualities we need, player attributes that we need going into the second half. Because if the unders, or rather the scoreline was a bit better, and I've done that in the previous games where the scoreline is a bit more respectable, 0-0, I've continued with that because I want them to learn. I believe in young players. My profile is off that, you know. Develop the players that are there, because it's also for the benefit of the institution, because some of them are students that when we go to USAs, it actually helps us out. But also development of South African football, you know. We have to give them a chance. So I'm not one of those who looks back at the old rule and says, I wish I had the old rule. No. It obviously does come with a bit of pressure, the new rule, because at times you even ask yourself if all of us have got the real under 23s, because at times our under 23s are, you know, you can see they still need a bit of milk.
Yeah,
they still
definitely.
need you know, they're a bit rough around the edges as well in some moments. But yeah, as I say, I think with whatever the rule is, 45 minutes, I believe we can do it. It's just when players drop their heads, then it's quite difficult to get them back up again. Sometimes, no matter what you say, because of what they're facing physically, then mentally. But yeah, it's an ongoing process. We'll improve.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you, sir.